coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Bam, 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 boom, boom. Appreciate the support. 33 years of prison stories, man. We rolling, we out here, we rolling, pushing this this positive energy, doing what we can to get this message out, man. Daily. It is a daily grind, man. We is on it. We on it. We 900 plus videos strong. You know, I'll be amazed myself, man. We done put that many videos out, man. But I say we because we a family. We a family. But shout out to y'all, man, for all the support, all the you know, the spreading of the message of the movement, and it can't get done without y'all, man. So I definitely am you know, endeared to you all, man. TBP, salute. We out here. Today, man, I wanted to talk about something that came across my mind, man, by watching Willie D. I don't know if y'all know who Willie D is. Some of y'all youngins might not know who Willie D is, but Willie D is one of the original members of the Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. He got a podcast, and he be talking that real talk, and I check him out sometime. But I was watching him, I think it was yesterday. I ran across one of his feeds, and I was watching it, and he was talking about dude that was in prison that jumped on the dude that, you know, killed all them people in church. You know, I can't remember his name because I don't even, you know what I'm saying, try to even think about that type of stuff. But he jumped on him, and then, you know, dudes, you know, sent money in, you know what I'm saying, to help get him on bond because he was in there on some charges, but he couldn't make bond. Willie D said he was one of the dudes that sent him some money to help him make bond because he appreciated what he did, you know what I'm saying? So he just wish he would have finished the job, right? But it's a crazy story, man. Y'all go check it out and hit Willie D up and tell him TBP salute, man, and we rock with him over here. But anyway, it just reminded me of a story. You know, just watching that, like I tell y'all all the time, it's something that'll spark something in my brain. And it just reminded me of a story, man, about these white guys. But I believe I said something about it before in one of these videos. I don't know if I went into detail. I can't remember if I did or not. But it is definitely a crazy story, man, about, you know, these white guys, man. It was a couple of them, man. If I remember correctly, it was about 3 of them. You know, and we was definitely on Greensville. Some of the memory about this is, but I'm going to tell y'all what I do know to the best of my ability and the way I recall it, and it was recanted to me. Because at the time that this happened, I believe I was in segregation, you know, and I ended up being back there when some of these dudes came back there. They put them on the block that I was on and said, and one of them at least, because they had them in a suicide cell, you know what I'm saying, where they had to be watching them all day, and you be stripped down, you don't have no clothes, no nothing, and, you know, it's got to be a guard outside your door that's watching you because you're on suicide watch. And this incident was about, you know, I still like to say alleged, even though he was convicted of alleged or convicted of child molester, white guy, right? And he was getting ready to go home. Only thing he had, like, to my understanding, like a month and something before he went home. And they put him in the cell with this other white guy. This white guy that they put him in there with, he hung around with these other white dudes, and they was like the kind of, you know, they make that wine and make that clear. They get drunk, and, you know, they be out there. You know, these won't, like, you know, the white boys, they was trying to hustle. They was trying to get a little money. They was young too, though, but they was trying to get a little money. You know, you got different types. They won't just walking around scared, although they won't really, like, no, far from a gorilla neither. They, you know, still stayed in their position in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they didn't catch a lot of flack because they was always making liquor, selling liquor, doing whatever they was doing. And, you know, they like to get high too, so they make the liquor to sell liquor so they can get high. But they also drink and they get, you know, wild. You know, you got different type of people that act different ways when they get drunk. These was the wild ones, you know. So when they put the dude in the cell with him, to my understanding is, you know, people knew who he was, and he had just came from another block from getting beat up, you know, because of his charges. You know what I'm saying? And man, I don't know which one of them it was or which one of them had the bright idea, but they was plotting on him, and they knew the dude was getting ready to leave. So they plotting on the dude, waiting for him to try to get out. You know, more or less talking about it instead of plotting about it, because like I say, when you make moves like that, man, there's definitely consequences. So to my understanding, man, they had came up with a plan, man, that they, you know, before he leave, that they was going, you know, they was going to give him the business. You know what I'm saying? Give him the business, because it's like, you know, he in there for child molesting, but he got a little bit of time, and he, you know, getting ready to go back out on the street, and there it is, they got years and decades or whatever to do. So, you know, a lot of people, like I say, when you got that type of charge in there anyway, man, you know, you automatically a target. You automatically a target for extortion, abuse, everything you could possibly think of. And then if you're a white person with them type of charges, you just magnify that times 10. Because all this stuff that's going to come to you anyway, just because of the environment, you're going to even get more so when they know that you in there for, you know, some flammery like that. So to the best of my knowledge, man, he was supposed to leave like the next day, right? And they had made all this liquor, and they was, I guess, you know, that liquid courage. They was getting their, you know, courage up, man, and they was gonna get him drunk, and they was gonna, you know, bust him up or do whatever it is they was gonna do to him. But the thing about it is, he in the cell with one of the dudes. You understand? And he the main one that's gonna set him up, right? So, man, they supposedly had got drunk. They got filthy drunk, man. They getting him drunk, or he don't really want to drink that much, but they just trying to make him drink it. And, you know, they get turned up and everything, and they all go up in the cell. And, man, they did them dirty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stories come from, because couldn't nobody see it, they in the cell. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the stories come from the COs. The COs spread it because they not used to seeing stuff like that. They see it, but they don't, you know what I'm saying? And then when you get some of them new officers and they're around that type of stuff and they first see it, it's like fascinating to them, and it's like out crazy. You know, it makes them evaluate whether or not they want to work in a prison. You understand? And that's understandable. You know, but they went in there, man, and they just just started attacking him and beating him down, man. They tied a thing around his mouth and gagged him so he couldn't holler. I heard they put a sock in his mouth. Man, they beat him so bad and stomped him and stomped him. He went unconscious. He came back conscious. They beat him, stomped him some more. They took the joint, man, and cut his throat. Cut his throat, man. And then they say they pulled the joint out his mouth, man, and held his mouth, and they cut his tongue. They say they cut his privates off, man, and shoved it in his mouth. And they carried him on out of here, man. They carried him to the upper room, you know. And then they try to me, the part that I heard about this was like one of the dumbest schemes in the world. They supposed to try to act like he's supposed to be the dude that's in the cell with him, because he's deceased in his cell. The cell that you sleep in with him. He's supposed to try to act like he late in the shower, getting out the shower, so when they holler and lock down, that the police can verify that he in the shower. And then when he come back to the cell, he's supposed to act like, oh, like what happened? He didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And he don't know nothing about it. You understand? So that was a flawed plan within itself. If you got a body in your cell and you sleep in the cell, you going to be the first person that they look at anyway. You know what I'm saying? But that was their, you know, bird brain plan. You know what I'm saying? And the other dudes is going to their cell. So he the only one that's really on the line. You know? So this is how he did it. And the people hollering and telling him, get out the shower, get out the shower. He acting like he late getting out the shower. Then when he go to the cell and telling them to open the door, if everybody else in your cell and you telling the person in the booth to open your door, and they open your door, and then you step in and you step out before they can close the door, they acting like what's going on, and he acting like he hysterical, like he don't know what's going on. This is supposed to be his alibi. You understand? This supposed to be his alibi. And they call the people over there. The people come over there, and man, HELL broke loose, man. You know, that's some of the scenes you see in prison that, you know what's going on when they start calling everybody over there. They put the cuffs on him. They calling everybody over there. When you start seeing medical come, staff come, wardens come, majors come, then you start seeing people come in suits. You already know they done took that big ride. They done took that big ride. So it's like chaos in there. It's crazy. They say all eyes is on the gate. Everybody's looking. You got some officers going in there, coming out, throwing up. They throwing up because of what they seeing. They not used to seeing that in real life, in real time. Maybe on TV, but in real life, real time, a lot of people have never even witnessed that or been around that type of, viciousness, that type of, torture. Because it was like they tortured them, man. It's like they tortured them. They say they had them in there for, a couple of hours and stuff before lockdown. Just beating them and doing what they was doing to them. They sitting around there getting even drunker, getting even higher, not worrying about the consequences, not understanding what you just put yourself into, the position that you put yourself in, so it was crazy, man. It was just chaos because I can remember I'm in the hole and we hearing about it, man. Oh, somebody got killed on the yard. It's crazy. That's how fast, news travel. And that news can only travel that fast when you in a whole different separate part of the prison unit is if it's by police. Because the police be gossiping more than the average dude in there. They tell everything. They usually have a briefing in the morning. And when they come to work, they call it muster. And they talk about everything that transpired on, the last shift. And they do that as shift is changing to my understanding. And they talk about everything that transpired. So they have all the information that you need, and they just be spreading it around to dudes that they consider that they can talk to. A convict they can talk to. That convict gonna go talk to a convict that he cool with. He gonna talk to an inmate he cool with, and then it's so on and so forth. And next thing you know, boom, everybody know what's going on. So, they get the dude and they get, he's obviously, deceased. They take him out of there, man. They get him out there. They make it a crime scene. They put the tape up and everything. Whole compound go on lock. They bring the white dude back there. Now, the word is that they shook the white dude up so bad, and when he became sober, he became suicidal. And he telling them who else was involved. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the shake-up game they're going to put on you. The interrogation, man, you going to get the lecture chair, woo, woo, woo. I can only imagine what they was telling them. So he got so shook up that he dropped the dime on the rest of the two. They go get the other two. You know what I'm saying? Now they got him back there on suicide watch. He on suicide watch on my block. You know what I'm saying? He on my block in segregation on suicide watch. And, the officers telling that. Oh, yeah, that's the white boy right there, man. They kill that boy out there, man. That boy was getting ready to go home next day. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, they cut his throat, man, and cut his thing off and all this. This is how they talking. You know what I'm saying? So this is how the information get out. But this is big news. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, this is something this don't happen that often, not in that fashion anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it happens even less when it's all Caucasians involved. It happens even, I don't know about other prisons and in the feds or whatever. But, man, I could count on my hand, less than one hand, I believe, let me say before I speak. But, probably, yeah, less than one hand of times of white dudes killing a dude in prison. That I know of, the white dudes that I know of, that killed somebody in prison. It's less than one hand. But if you talking about dudes getting killed in prison and dudes I know who got that beef, I ain't got enough hands. You know what I'm saying? I don't have enough. Or they got killed by the police. I ain't got enough hands. You see what I'm saying? So that's how rare this is, which made it even that much more news because these was all white dudes involved in the situation. You see what I'm saying? But you can rest assured they got that case. You know what I'm saying? They got that case, man, because they shook them up. They shook them up bad. And then I heard through the grapevine, through the police fine. Then all of them start telling on each other, like who idea it was, because see, you got that liquid courage, and now you done did all of this stuff, and you done went too far, and now you realize these serious consequences, man, that y'all might mess around and be in an electric chair. You know what I'm saying? Let alone if you ever get out of prison again. You know, so it became real to him. It became real instantly. Yeah, it's super real when they talking about, you know, the electric chair or natural life. You know, the whole plan now seems like a bird brain plan. You know what I'm saying? Because they talking about all this time. So, and like I said, I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, now one of them had life sentences or nothing like that. So now you in a position where you may not never get out of prison, and or you might lose your life because of these actions, right? So they got the singing like the OJs back there, man. And the one that was on my block, he was definitely suicidal, because they was watching him. He was over there crying. He was over there curled up, man. He was losing his mind, saying he was gonna kill himself, all this type of stuff, because they had him on suicide watch for a minute. And then they ended up moving all of them, you know what I'm saying? I think they all went to the, you know, up in the mountains, you know, and it just was a crazy, gruesome scene, man. And you know, over the years, I known a lot of, you know, alleged child molesters they get punished, man. But that right there, if it actually went down the way the police said it went down, that joint with that right there was vicious. It was vicious, man. You know, they said that, like I say, they had officers actually throwing up because it's just the scene of it. You know, the scene of it, dudes on the outside of the block saying it was so much blood everywhere that when they finally let people, the dudes out to clean it up, the dudes were saying, man, the whole cell was just covered with blood everywhere. They said the joint was crazy, you know. So it was, it was something to be talked about, and it was something that was talked about for a long time. I tried not to be really like keeping up with that type of stuff like a lot of dudes in prison do. They'll be watching the news, see what happened, see if, you know, what time they got, how much time they got. I ain't never was that type of dude. You know, it happened, it was over. I ain't nothing to do with it. I heard about it, that was that. But I heard also through the grapevine, all of them, you know what I'm saying, got life sentences. You know what I'm saying? And you get a life sentence, you know, or used to be, or probably still is, you get a life sentence in prison. You know, when you in prison, then you ain't getting out. It's like a natural life sentence. So I heard that that's the time that all of them got, you know, and they all ended up in the mountains or whatnot. But yeah, you know, and you would think in your mind, right, you know, the average person out here on the street that never been in prison probably thinking in their mind, oh, well, now they got a murder charge in prison. Ain't nobody gonna mess with them, you know, because they know they'll kill somebody, woo, woo, woo. First of all three of them gonna be separated. They ain't gonna never be on the same camp with each other again. It was an act that was done with all three of them, you know what I'm saying, in conjunction, not just one of them. And third of all, they still the minority in prison, you know what I'm saying, and they ain't pull a move by themselves, and they had liquid courage. All of that information is gonna be out too. If anything, you got some dudes in there that's so psycho and going in their mind, they may look at them as, you know, like that's who they want to try to break. You know what I'm saying? That's who they want to try to break. You know, and you know the type of dudes I'm talking about. So they may look at them, and they looking at them totally different from the perspective that y'all may be talking about. Oh, they killed somebody, and man, them dudes don't care nothing about that. They don't care nothing about that. Long as it won't them. They didn't kill them. So they don't care, you know what I'm saying? And then a lot of dudes have the mentality that they still gonna look at him as just like a white boy. If he ain't providing no services like making liquor or getting his sack or doing some type of, he got some type of brainiac stuff where he can, you know, help you do this or teach you about how to, you know, start a business, man, they be catching it. You know what I'm saying? They be catching it. Or he do tattoos, or, you know, he draw. He don't have to have a skill or either be able to rumble and be ready to kill in order to, you know, keep the wolves up off of him. So just because they committed to act like that together on another white dude, I don't think, you know, it changes too much the perception of, you know, the average gorilla in prison. He ain't studying that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So Yeah, man, but it definitely went down, man. You probably could pull that stuff up somewhere, man. But when that dude got killed, but it was crazy, man. It really was crazy. And then the compound stayed down a lot for a long time. You know, they locked the compound down for a minute when they had that stuff or murder or something because they be trying to figure it out. Because like I say, when something like that go down, people job on the line. You know, people lose their job. They become, you know, the scapegoat. You know, how something like this go down on your watch or how you ain't noticed or woo woo woo. Definitely the officers that work that building doing that shift gone. You know what I'm saying? Gone. They out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because they going to be the first ones on the front line. Why you won't making your rounds? Why you ain't noticed that? How long did it took to do that? Then when all the coroner reports come in, how long was he dead? How, you know, all of that stuff. How could you not heard that? You know, they're going to have to answer to all of that. But they walk around anyway not caring about your life. They walk around, they make their rounds, man. They go right by the cell just so fast you won't even see them. It just be a shadow. They just want to be somewhere there. When they put the cameras in there, they want to be somewhere on camera walking by. You know what I'm saying? And saying that they done their rounds and signed the book. Just like the wardens in them. When they come in the block, they supposed to come in the block and walk all the way around. They supposed to leave it in the law book that they made a round or they came in the pod during this time or whatever. Man, I'm telling you, I promise you, most 9 times out of 10 or 9.5 times out of 10, when they do visit a block, they come straight in the block, go straight to the booth, tap on the booth, ask the officer to give them the book. They sign the book and turn around and go out. Never really make rounds. Every now and then. Every now and then. And if they do, they're going to have 4 or 5 officers with them and probably a lieutenant or sergeant or something. They ain't coming in no block, making no round, walking around, seeing what's going on the penitentiary that they have total say-so in. The penitentiary that they is the head person in charge. They ain't doing that because they ain't care. And all of that is a trickle-down effect. They don't care. So lieutenants and the majors and the wardens, I mean, the wardens, the majors, the lieutenants and the sergeants, them don't care. And the officers, them don't care. Your life is not that important in prison. And to be honest with you, it's not important at all. You know what I'm saying? To nobody but you. You know, but you. So, you know, but like I say, the dude, man, you know, he had a family too for whatever he did or whatever he didn't do. Just imagine that family getting that type of phone call. You know, and I can assure you they sugarcoated that. They didn't tell them to the extent of what happened to him. I know they did. I guarantee you they watered it down. And the people had to either get it from the coroner themselves or get it from somebody in the penitentiary about what actually happened to their son, their brother, their nephew, or whoever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, the joint was gruesome, man. And everybody else is gonna get second-hand, third-hand, fourth-hand information, especially the ones that that's in a position where, you know, they can make you liable for what happened. They gonna get the nicest version, and they gonna, oh, we gonna ready to prosecute them. We got everybody who did it. They gonna be punished and da 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 yada yada yada. It ain't gonna bring, you know, old boy back or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But and to my knowledge, he wasn't an older guy. To my knowledge, he was in his like either mid to late 20s. You know what I'm saying? To my knowledge, he was in his mid to late 20s. But you know, like I said, over the years, I've seen dudes like that, man. I've seen them, and they hide. Normally, they will just, you know, opt out to be in PC. You know what I'm saying? They'll opt out to be in PC because they catch so much flack out there. But the crazy part about it is, even when they go to PC, when that reputation travels over them with them to PC, you in there with the scared dudes. The dudes are scared of population, but they ain't scared of you. You know what I'm saying? So now you either be getting extorted by this select few, but they choose that opposed to being out on the block where anything can happen to them out on the yard. So they know these dudes are already running from somebody. They may be, you know, scared of somebody on the yard, but they not scared of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you consider the lowest of the low. You know, the lowest of the low. You know, so yeah, they catch it in there, man. When it's known, and sometimes it's telltale signs, and sometimes it's not. But one of the biggest telltale signs is of those dudes be like ultra quiet, man. They don't make no noise. They ain't trying to bust a grape. They ain't trying to raise their voice because they got something that they hiding and they don't want that information to come out. When that information come out, and it usually come from either the police, once again, They gonna tell you, oh, you know he locked up, you know he child molester, right? Either gonna come from them, or somebody gonna come in there that's from your neighborhood, that's from your city, and they know about your case, and they gonna say, oh, that's the dude that had the charge for such and such, and that's how I usually get out. And once that information is out, man, that vicious jungle that you living in becomes much more vicious. You know what I'm saying? Much more vicious, and your bit that you doing becomes way significantly more harder because everybody is gonna feel like you the scapegoat. You know, you the whooping boy. When my frustration is up, I'm gonna think about what you did, and I might come smack fire from you. You know what I'm saying? Or when I get tired of doing this time and I don't want to do it no more, and I might just come kill you and let the chips fall where they may. You know, you get dudes to get them to wake up and something happen in their family, and they want to vent out, and they got somebody they going to get him. They going to get him if they got this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So it be hard for him, man. It be hard for him to be on population. So why he chose to stay on population, I have no idea. I never met him. I don't know him. But what that caused to be a deadly decision for him. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he was getting ready to go home. If he was getting ready to go home and he had made it thus far, and you know was still alive, still breathing, you know, and in relatively good health, that was a fatal decision for him to stay on there until he went home. Maybe he felt comfortable with the white guy that he was in there with. Maybe the white guy, you know, rocked him to sleep and made him feel comfortable, like he was all right, ain't nobody gonna bother you, blah, 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 or whatever that made him comfortable enough to stay out there until he actually had the date for him to get up out of there. I think that was a major miscalculation.